Hi guys, I hope you're well. If you don't know who I am, my name's Tom Spatemore. I'm a teacher here in Dubai, and in this video we're going to be looking at a range of tips for newly qualified teachers, NQTs, who are about to go into their first year teaching. Now in this video I'm really excited because it's not just my face on the screen for the whole video. I've got a range of people from all around the world who are going to share their top tips for educators going into their first year. Please make sure that you take some time to go and check their channels out and subscribe to their channels. If you're new to my channel, then feel free to subscribe to mine too. If you enjoy the video as well, feel free to like it. So let's jump into our first tip from Sophie from the UK.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm a primary school teacher and I'm currently teaching in the UK. I am a second year teacher, currently teaching year 3. I am Happywithmissh on YouTube and Instagram and all of that fun stuff. My top tip for NQTs is to ask for help. Do not struggle. You are straight out of your training year and you have now been put in front of a class of children who rely on you and look at you, and you are the grown-up. How crazy is that? When I went to the first NQT conference for my county, I was told that a lot of the time it feels like on the top you are like a duck, you are like gliding through, living your best life, and on the bottom your legs are going mental. You are so lucky in terms of being an NQT that you have a specific tutor to help you. Please use them. You are in a school with lots of people who have also been NQTs in their teaching career. Everyone was one. Use those people as much as you can. Do not panic. Do not sit and think, I can't do this, I can't ask anyone, because you have those people to help you. Please, please, please use them. Do not think you have to go through this alone. Get a good support system and you will smash it. Good luck.
Thank you, Sophie. I couldn't agree more that seeking out a mentor, whether that's the one that you've been set or one that you found yourself, is super critical. My mentor was absolutely amazing and supported me in some of those really hard days that you sometimes have as an NQT. My next guest is Ben from the UAE, where I'm based.
Hi, I'm Ben from WAGOLL Teaching, and my top tip for NQTs is making sure that you set all the routines as clearly as possible from the very beginning. It will make your life so much easier and it will make your learning far more effective. So the 5 routines you need to ensure your children are really great at is the morning routine. How will your children effectively come into the classroom and begin their learning? Would it be a question? Would it be an activity to get their mind set for the day? The second one is the self-help routine. What happens when they get stuck? How can they help themselves before they come to you? The third routine that you need to ensure is in place is the self-assessment. How can we get children to make sure they've checked the success criteria and checked that they've not made any silly mistakes before coming to you? We all know those children have missed out all their full stops, even though they know how to use them because they've not checked their work. The fourth routine is the lining up routine. The lesson is finished and the children are ready to move around the school. How do you get the children to line up without arguments in a safe way, ready for you to move around the school or for the children to head off to playtime? And the final routine is how do the children come back from playtime and settle really quickly. This may be similar to the morning routine in making sure that children have something to do straight away when they enter the classroom, but it's really making sure that children are calming down from playtime and refocusing, ready for their learning. So that is my top tip for NQTs.
Thank you, Ben. What a fantastic tip. I fully agree that having routines are absolutely critical to the classroom, and not having them can be a little bit detrimental. I found it the hard way by not having a pencil sharpening routine that children are really good at finding the sharpener and spending a long time by the bins, so I had to really introduce that one quite quickly. My next guest is Lois from the UK.
Hello, my name's Lois, but you'll probably know me as the Display Lady. My Instagram is Display Lady, and I have a YouTube channel here as well. If you want to give me a follow, the links are down below. I have been a primary school teacher here in the UK for 8 years, and I currently teach in Yorkshire, which is also where I live. I have been an assistant head since September, and I have been the assessment leader for several years. My NQT tip is all about relationships with your students. It's really important to foster a relationship with all of your pupils as soon as possible when you get your class as an NQT. If you haven't seen the speaker Rita Pearson yet, I really recommend you Google her and check her motivational speech out, because she really illustrates the point perfectly about how it's important, because the children really do learn from people that they like rather than people that they don't like. This is not to say that you should let the children off the hook for any bad behaviour. It's about being firm and fair, but also realising that the children are human beings, and try to get to know them as people. What do they like, what don't they like? It's all that sort of stuff that is really going to make things a lot easier for you. It will also make things a lot easier once you know the children in terms of your assessment and your teaching and planning your teaching. Once you really get to know the children, you'll know which children might need a bit more help with certain things, or which children are going to need a bit more challenge. So it's really important that you get to know the children in order to be the most effective teacher.
Thank you, Lois, for highlighting the importance of relationships within the classroom. I didn't really do that within my NQT year. I jumped straight through the academics, as I've said in a previous video, and it was quite difficult for me to address behaviour because I didn't really have the relationships formed fully. So definitely agree with that one. So we're going to jump on now to Emma from Australia.
Hi there, I'm EJ Kafooples from Kafoopleland, which is my YouTube channel. You may also know me from Instagram. I am a high school English teacher here on the mid-north coast of New South Wales, Australia. And I do have a piece of advice for NQTs, and that is this. Don't rush out to buy heaps of decor and heaps of resources for your very first classroom. You really need to wait and see what the lay of the land is when you get there. You won't have a lot of spare money yourself for buying these things, so just hold your horses. You will find in teaching that as you progress, you become really good at making something out of nothing. Sometimes the most streamlined, minimalist classes are the most effective. So have faith in your skill set that you're bringing, your training and your enthusiasm. Rely on those things more than pretty decor.
Thank you, Emma. No matter how much we tell you to not go and buy resources straight away for your classroom, the temptation and excitement is always there. But if you can, please take a little bit of patience and just relax and see what your school has first set up for you. My next guest is Reese, back in the UK.
Hello there, my name's Reese and I'm a teacher from the West Midlands in the UK. I've been a teacher for 6 years now. I've taught in Year 2, Year 6 and I'm currently teaching in Year 5. My YouTube channel is called Trust Teaching and I share advice, tips and tricks for new and experienced teachers on there. So this is my NQT tip and it's to go to the staff room. Now you might be thinking, why? Why is that so important? It's important for 3 reasons. The first reason is because you need a break. It's going to be really important for your mental health and well-being that you go to the staff room and you just take a bit of time to have something to eat, have something to drink and relax during a very busy and stressful day. It's very tempting to stay in your classroom and get books marked and lessons planned, but you're going to burn out and it's not something you can sustain in the long run. The second reason is because the wealth of knowledge and experience that you've got in a staff room is a resource that you should be tapping into. Make the most of all of those experienced teachers that you've got around you. Ask lots of questions. You'll gain so many ideas, tips, tricks that you can use with your class. Some of the best lessons I've taught have come from ideas that I've gained from the staff room, from conversations with teachers who have taught that lesson before or taught that topic before. They'll be able to signpost you and point you in the right direction of some great resources to use or some ideas on how to teach that lesson or how to approach that topic that you're trying to teach. And the third reason is because this is going to be a great place to showcase your personality and for people to get to know you. If you're stuck in your classroom all the time eating your lunch, the staff aren't going to get to know your personality, what you bring to the table, your skills and your attributes that you've got. It shows that you're a team player, and when opportunities come up in the future, people will think, actually, yeah, that teacher's really, really good. They bring loads to the table, they've got lots of value to bring, their knowledge is really good, they've got a lovely personality. I think they'd be really good for this opportunity that I've got for them. As my top tip for NQTs, go to the staff room.
Thank you, Reese, for the final tip from abroad. It's fair to say that the staff room is also my sanctuary. I couldn't imagine getting in at 7 o'clock and leaving at 5, 6 o'clock without a break in the staff room. It's really good for my well-being, but it's also good for me to be able to say, oh, I'm struggling with this child, what would you guys recommend? So it's good for that subject knowledge, as Reese said too. I also wanted to share a couple of tips for NQTs myself. One of the tips is quite straightforward, and that's to have a bit of a stash of sweets or treats or something in your classroom for those days where you're having a bit of a difficult one or your well-being's a bit low. It's just good for a bit of a pick-me-up, but also it's a treat, so make sure that you set that up. The final tip for this video is based on well-being. Please make sure that you don't forget to do you, whatever that is. Make sure that you still go to the hobbies that you had before your NQT year. It's amazing for well-being, but also provides you with that well-deserved break. I always find at the same time that by having those hobbies and things outside of school, it makes you a bit more motivated to complete the work that you have in school, so that you think, right, I've got this competition that I need to go to, I need to get this done, and you're a bit more motivated to complete those different activities. So make sure that you still do the things that you used to do before your NQT year, because otherwise you'll lose touch with yourself and lose touch with friends and things like that. So although things might be stressful, having those breaks through the use of hobbies and things like that is really quite important too. I wanted to finish this video by saying a huge thank you to all the educators who have been part of this video from across the world. It's amazing to be able to participate and to be able to share different videos and ideas from teachers around the world, and definitely something I'm hoping to do in the future. I know that many of the teachers needed a bit of patience because of some of the technical issues, especially setting up for this first time. I've never seen a video like this before, so it's definitely needed a bit of coordination, so thank you again for all of your patience and determination to get this done. If you haven't already, feel free to go and check out all of their different links in the description. I don't usually ask my subscribers for much, but please go and show them some love because they've put in a lot of effort to that. If you're new to my channel, feel free to like, subscribe, all those different bits and pieces. If you're about to go into your NQT year and have any questions, feel free to add them into the comments. If you're not an NQT and you're an experienced teacher, then what would your top tip for NQTs be? Hopefully I see you in the next one, but for now, I'm out.